Hello and respect, dear friends. I hope you are having good times. Today's destination is the ancient city of Hierapolis, specifically one of the caves that has always stirred controversy. An ancient ritual site and a deadly cave, a gateway to hell and the underworld. Beliefs prevailed for centuries that sacrifices were made to appease their underworld god, contributing to unraveling the mystery that has been attempted to solve for ages. So, what's the story? What is this cave? Buckle up, and let's travel through time, my friends, to one of the oldest cities in the world and explore the Roman gate to hell. The cave, known as Plutonium in ancient times, is part of an ancient Roman temple. The artifacts discovered in the city formerly known as Puli and currently located in Pamukkale, Turkey, unequivocally indicate that this temple, with its square structure and scattered seats, was the site of events that attracted many followers and tourists, if they could be called that back then. But what event necessitated the construction of this temple, or more precisely, what was it built for? The answer comes from archaeologists at the University of Salerno in Italy, who played a crucial role in discovering this site. The temple was built on top of a cave, and the cave led to a deep grotto, considered an entrance to the underworld according to writings of ancient Roman historians. So, why did this cave gain such notoriety? Let's find out. Historical studies and research have proven that this temple was a destination for ancient tourists who flocked to the gate of the underworld to witness rituals offering sacrifices to the underworld god Pluto. The platform of death, as scientists called it, was named Plutonium, referring to the god of the underworld, Pluto, by the ancient Romans. According to ancient Roman beliefs, Pluto would take the life of anyone who approached this gate, except for the priests. Therefore, visiting tourists would sit in their seats to witness this spectacle. The priests entered the cave with the unfortunate animals, and smoke and vapor would emanate from its entrance before the audience. After a while, the priests would emerge unharmed. As for the animals, some would breathe their last breaths in front of the spectators, and some inside the cave as well. It was believed that they were transitioning to the underworld. This significantly contributed to reinforcing the sanctity of the priests, as they were immune to the god of death and the gateway to the underworld, which had no effect on them. The phenomenon of the animals' death in the cave and their transition to the underworld attracted the attention of many writers and historians of that time. For example, the renowned Roman author and natural historian, Pliny the Elder, mentioned this phenomenon in one of his writings and named it Charon. Charon was a legendary figure whose task was to transport the souls of the dead from the River Styx to the underworld, according to ancient Roman beliefs. But what aroused the interest of scientists and contributed significantly to shedding light on this ancient cave? Among the various ancient artifacts discovered in our era, particularly the topic of animal death at the entrance and inside the cave is supposed to be ancient and long gone. The answer is truly shocking. According to various sources, this cave is still deadly. How? Well, according to research, studies, and discoveries published by several scientists who tried to unravel this mystery, notably in the journal Archaeology and Anthropology in February 2018, birds passing by the cave entrance fall dead. Moreover, inside the cave, researchers found many dead rats and birds, along with more than 70 beetles that also met their demise, as reported by CNN. This is where science intervened. Of course, scientists did not believe in the idea of a death platform and a gateway to hell, but there must be a cause for what happened in past centuries and continues to happen to this day. After much research and study, a conclusive answer was found: the cause of this vapor, once considered sacred, and the reason for the death of these animals in this way is a purely geographical phenomenon, a phenomenon mentioned and attempted to be explained by ancient geographer Strabo. Strabo, a pre-Christian and early Christian-era geographer and one of the world's foremost geographers, mentioned in his writings that any animal passing inside the cave would instantly meet its demise. Bulls would fall and meet their end automatically, and birds, when thrown inside, took their last breath and died immediately. Strabo literally added, in his attempt to explain what was happening, that the space was filled with dense foggy vapor that prevented one from seeing the ground. So, the cave is filled with a gas, in our current terminology, a poisonous gas that kills living beings, according to Strabo. Was he right? Yes, the seasoned geographer preceded our modern scientists in analyzing the issue. Studies and research published in various scientific journals and publications have proven that the cave or temple was built above a deep cleft beneath the Earth's surface. This cleft releases highly concentrated amounts of carbon dioxide gas. The high concentrations of this gas, ranging, according to the research team led by volcano scientist Hardy Vance, between 4 and 59% at the cave entrance and 99% inside, are certainly lethal to living organisms. Mammals, in particular, cannot tolerate concentrations exceeding 5% of this gas. So, the death of animals, birds, bulls, and others is a natural and inevitable result of the gas density at the cave entrance and inside. I know what you're thinking. How did the priest survive with such a high concentration of carbon dioxide? If we go back to our friend Strabo, he also wondered about that and narrowed it down to two options. Either the priests were truly immune and had a divine connection, or they simply held their breath. As for modern-day scientists and new studies, they have provided a more logical explanation. Studies have indicated that carbon dioxide is heavier than oxygen, so it settles at the bottom. With this density and concentration, it formed something akin to a toxic lake. The reason why animals, and not the priests, succumb to it has to do with height. Lake of Deadly Gases, according to Franz and his colleagues, was characterized by openings in the animals' noses. Consequently, the animals unintentionally inhaled the deadly gases and died. The priests, on the other hand, stood above the lake and did not directly inhale its gas. According to the interview conducted with Ina, the priests knew about the gas phenomenon. They were aware that the concentration of gases changed with time. Therefore, they scheduled the presentation of sacrifices accordingly to ensure their safety. Truly, the words of the scientist Hardy Vance, despite the scientific explanation of what happened and is happening, the gateway to the Romanian hell and the deadly cave still carry stories and myths from ancient archaeological sites. These tales tell us much about past times and the people of that era, laden with lies, deceit, and false beliefs, serving as lessons for the wise. My friends, this is what we had in our bag about the gateway to the Romanian hell or the deadly cave. The cave, which has been considered since ancient times as an entrance to the underworld, is a natural phenomenon that sparked much debate in ancient times. It also contributed in one way or another to promoting the sanctity of the priesthood. The intervention of science, even after long centuries, helped decipher the mystery of this cave. Of course, the deadly cave is not the only mysterious place or phenomenon. There are several places and artifacts waiting to be discovered one after another. The mystery still surrounds them, and the truth is yet to be unveiled. And, of course, science is the first way for everything, unless it fails, and the case becomes one of the mysteries of our program. The mystery of these places and other topics will, God willing, be under the spotlight of our research in our upcoming topics.